What's going on, everybody? Happy friggin' New Year. Welcome to 2024. And we are back with a 10-minute mailbag. It has been a minute. I missed you. I know you missed me. Let's start talking. I took a little content break last week outside of our weekly podcast, The Show, the podcast, every Tuesday on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. It is a weekly MLB The Show podcast, of course. I took that break just to kind of reset myself before 2024. All good things occurred, mostly me sitting on my caboose on the couch while I didn't do any work. It was fantastic, but we're back. The 10-minute mailbag is here. Let's answer your questions. For those of you who are new here, welcome in the 10-minute mailbag. I answer your MLB The Show questions about anything you'd like to ask. How do I get better at this? How do I build my lineup? Who should be on the cover in MLB The Show 24? What color are your socks? Today they're white, by the way. I usually rotate between white and black. But the questions in today's video are coming from the last 10-minute mailbag, which was 2 Mondays ago. So make sure you comment down below your questions for me to answer next week. This series cannot exist without you. As always, we're throwing 10 minutes on the clock. As many questions as we can get to in that time period as possible, we will answer. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, begin. Our first question comes from KREW. CJ, shout out to you for always being in the comments. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of the same old tin case and yearly hat for the MLB The Show Collector's Edition. I'd rather have a figure, a holographic card, or signed baseball. What are your thoughts and ideas? I don't disagree. I usually don't even buy the collector's edition anymore because I don't need the physical copy. I just download the digital version or the digital deluxe, whatever it's called. But I understand that. You know, the hats in the beginning were kind of cool, but then they got pretty old pretty fast. I have a few of the hats. A figure might be tough unless it's in like an actual like collector's box, like a legitimate box. I guess they've done that before in a real box, but I don't know if they want to do a figurine. That probably costs too much money. A signed baseball, super, super unlikely just because of the cost and the amount of baseballs that someone would have to sign to get that done. But I agree with the cards, and here's what I want to talk about. So, I'm going to show you guys something. I received this as a Secret Santa gift years and years ago, in 2017, to be exact, the end of 2017, December 2017, because Aaron Judge was on the cover of MLB The Show 18. It's going to be a little blurry, a little glary. You're looking at my camera currently recording me based off the reflection there, but there's Aaron Judge. Now, Topps Now is its own series within itself. This is a Topps Now card to correlate with the release or the announcement of the cover of MLB The Show 18. I think MLB The Show, SDS, and Topps should work together to give us baseball cards of the cards in this game. For example, or should I say, let's get the obvious out of the way first. I actually don't think I have an example of that currently on my team. So let's start with the other way first. None of these cards are real. MLB The Show does base some of its cards off of real-life Topps cards. We'll get to that in a moment. Topps Now being your primary example. There you go. But there are also ones from like the 80s and the 90s and stuff like that. I would pay probably real money to have this Ellie De La Cruz cycle card. Not a lot, but I'd pay money. I would pay money for this finest card art, whether it be Cody Bellinger. And dude, imagine this like real life holographic. It's already got the shimmer effect in the game. This Acuna card, super, super dope. Like, this could be a Topps Now type of card. This Giancarlo Stanton's super cool. I'm just using cards I have just because it's easy. Like, Babe Ruth's an older guy. I don't know if I'd really pay for an older Babe Ruth card. But, like, you know what I'm getting at here. This Jin Kim card art series, I'd pay like $20 for the entire collection of the 8 of them. MLB The Show does not need to, like, make money off selling real-life cards. But it could be cool in a collector's edition to start the year to give out, like, a physical card of the cover athlete on the cover. Similar to this. Plus maybe a couple, like, you know, maybe they pick a collection of 30 finest cards from the year before. Every team gets one. And your collector's box includes, like, 3 or 4 random ones. And if you want to collect them all, you can go on eBay to collect them all. I think that's kind of cool. Real-life collecting with in-game collecting, I'm here for that. I agree with you. It's better than a hat. CJ, thank you for your question and questions, as always. Migs Plays. Why is it that players who are 125 everything hit worse than players who have max contact, but let's say 110 to 12 power? Example, with the Snapshot Mookie, with the Tier 3 Rollins boost, I'm batting 380 with 30 homers. That Snapshot Mookie is cracked with the shortstop boost, by the way. He's got close to max contact, but power isn't maxed out either side. But with the finest Mookie, with the boost, 125 power and contact, yet I'm hitting 125. So, this is not going to be an answer you want, because there really is no explanation for it other than really shitty luck. Is really all it comes down to is bad luck. Those Mookie Betts are virtually the same card. I'll show you right here. Now, of course, I know you're talking about with a boost and whatever. We're not going to do the full boost here. So, Betts, we're not going to put the captain. Actually, you know what? I might have it in another lineup. Let's do it here. I do. All right, so this Mookie with the shortstop boost versus that Mookie. Okay. The Mookies are virtually the same. The vision is actually identical as well. The clutch is the same. There is no discernible reason why you should be better or worse with one Mookie versus the other. In theory, what you're talking about, the durability, or the shortstop captain, set 5 Mookie should be better because it's got the higher power ratings and virtually the same contact, same vision, etc., etc. Bad luck is really all it comes down to. Sometimes the ball don't falls where the ball wants to falls, or you want the ball to fall. It's really nothing to it. It's the same swing. It's the same player. I'm pretty sure it's the same swing anyway. That would be the only reason why something would be different. You're better with one swing than the other. Maybe you don't realize, and I'm not saying in this situation, but maybe you, the general you, might not realize that the vision's actually significantly better on one player, which makes it harder. Like if we were having this conversation about this Mookie Betts, I'm like, oh, this one's vision is actually lower. That makes a difference, but we're not. We're talking about two cards who are basically exactly the same. It's just bad luck. It's really all it is. It's really all it is. Your luck will either turn around because it's a small sample size and baseball tends to average itself out, or you just use the one that you're good with. Honestly, the set 4 Mookie is fucking perfectly fine. You don't need to use the maximum boosted set 5 one. I tend to think that the set 4 Mookie hits the ball just as far. So that's just my opinion. But Migs, thank you for your question. I hope that helps. Don't worry about batting averages, though. It's all about feel, really. Finley, what would you like to see changed about Road to the Show in the next MLB The Show 24? So I've answered this before. This doesn't mean I can't answer it again. Road to the Show is not immersive. And I'm going to go into Road to the Show, but before I do, I just want to make sure I change 2 things back because I will forget. I will talk about it, though, as it's happening. Road to the Show stinks. There's no immersion in it. It's actually awful. And I wish it was better because I'd play it if it didn't stink. So let's go to Road to the Show. Bingo bongo, here we are. In Road to the Show, this is as immersive as it gets. This non-interactive locker room scenario in which sometimes guys are talking at the locker above me, or they're sitting at that table over there and playing cards. That's the differentiating factors you get in Road to the Show. Everything is either at bat. It's either pitch every 5 days. It's come out of the bullpen. Like, there's nothing unique about Road to the Show. I want player choices that have real consequences. I want conversations that I can initiate. I don't need a full NBA 2K style create a player mode, but I would like the opportunity to go walk around with my player and start conversations myself. I want to walk into the manager's office. I want to call my agent. I want to negotiate a contract extension. I want to demand a call up in real time on my terms. I also wish there were ways of, like, I don't want to have to take every at-bat myself. I know I can simulate, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about more in, like, a Road to the Show mode in which it automatically takes you to the clutch moments. Or, I don't know, something that's not me simulating per se, because simulating's a problem, but also just streamlines the process a little bit. I want more options. I want more customizing things. I just want it better, because it kind of stinks. I hope that answers your question. I hope you agree with some of it. I think everyone, even hardcore Road to the Show people, would agree this mode needs more. Last question, probably, yes, from D-Lo. I think this question has to be asked. He's asking it. What is the endgame God Squad, including pitchers? So I talked about this in last week's podcast episode, which I recorded after you asked this question. Oh, look, I'm randomly getting, okay, rewards are here. Sure, this is wasting my time. Why is this happening? Okay, so this is the endgame God Squad that I'm using. It includes J.P. Crawford at second and Giancarlo Stanton at DH. I know that is not everybody's endgame God Squad, so this is what I've come up with. I'm pretty sure it's Milestone Trout, Mickey Mantle, and Milestone Acuna in some combination in the outfield. I believe Chipper Jones is shockingly everybody's endgame third baseman. Ellie De La Cruz Milestone, if you can get him. His price is still hovering around $500K. Wow, I'm stunned. J-Ram is probably everybody's endgame second baseman, either him or one of the Mookie Bettsises, maybe even like a postseason Corey Seager, but I think it's J-Ram. Cody Bellinger, finest, is my first baseman. Babe Ruth, probably just based on attributes alone, is the endgame DH, but DH is just kind of whoever you couldn't fit somewhere else. Don't stress that position too much. Catchers between Joe Mauer and Adley Rutschman. I understand why people would use Adley. He's the switch hitter. I am incredible with Joe Mauer, and I think Joe Mauer still is the highest rated catcher in Show Zone MLB The Show history. Shout out to Show Zone. So Joe Mauer is here. The bench is really whatever you want. I like to have a switch hitter, a righty killer, a lefty killer, and then some speed. That's what I've done here. And then the pitching staff, I think the starting rotation is this. I think it's big unit, Roki, Kluber, Pedro, and Donaldson. And then the bullpen is kind of whatever you want to do. Use 3 lefties and 5 righties. I think Kenley has to be there. I think Britton and Chapman have to be there. Maybe even Aaron Loop. And then everything else is just your personal preference. That'll do it for the 10-minute mailbag. I feel like that was a speed run at the end, more so than they usually are. The whole point is kind of that it's a speed run, but I feel like I was rushing there at the end. So please let me know if you want any more clarity on any of the things I said. If you want my opinions on anything, just shoot me a comment. And of course, ask your questions, new, old, and otherwise, in the section down below. Again, the series cannot exist without you, and you guys are the backbone of this community. So I love you all. Thank you for making it to the end. See you next time.